What is up, guys? Thanks for watching a Jaguars United live show. I'm joined here tonight with Mike. Mike, how's it going?
What's up, boss?
Doing good, doing good. All right. Well, if you haven't yet followed us on Twitter, we're at Jaguars_United. Instagram, we're at Jaguars_United_. You can check out our website, all that stuff. We're really excited about our show tonight because we get to hear from the fans. There's no other live show out there that takes direct comments and thoughts from the fans. Am I missing any, Mike, that you know of?
I don't even listen to podcasts. I'm the wrong guy on that one.
So when it comes to that, we want your voice heard. So that's why it's important that if you're going back and watching this video later on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because then you'll get a notification whenever we go live. And then that way you can be a part of the conversation. You may hear us read a bunch of people's comments and things like that, because we are very fan inclusive and we want everyone's voice to be heard one way or another. That's one of the things that frustrated us about the Jags media the most, was it kind of seemed to be pretty lopsided toward certain people. So we wanted everyone to be involved, and that's why we're here. And I can't think of a better person to be here than Mike.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. All right, so let's just hear from the first tee here.
Yeah, Jags just signed a player. That's crazy.
Jags, we're being visited by Trumaine Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Has the news come out that he's been signed?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been signed. To say what the deal is?
No, nothing like that yet.
Okay, so we don't know what it is. What are your thoughts on Trumaine Brock?
Honestly, though, if we were going to go after a player like this, why not claim MJ Stewart off of the Buccaneers? I know he's not as proven as Trumaine Brock, but I think the upside might be there. High draft pick 2 years ago. Just the scheme in Tampa Bay hasn't seemed to be the best for cornerbacks in general. So, but I do like it. He's played for a numerous amount of years. He's not going to make or break the team, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's
definitely solid depth for sure.
Yeah, good size, 6 foot, 188. If you're not familiar with Trumaine Brock, he's from Mississippi. He went to a small college, Belhaven, Minnesota. He was undrafted in 2010. And then since 2010, he's played for the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Titans, and now the Jags. But he was with the 49ers for 6 years.
Wow.
That's where he's most known, is when he was on that 49ers defense. Good corner. I like the signing, especially with the news of Rashawn Melvin sitting out.
Yeah.
I think this is huge for the Jags. I mean, we knew they were going to have to go after someone in free agency. Are you surprised that it happened so quickly, or do you think they're kind of a race against time right now?
Probably a race against time, I would have to say.
Yeah.
And it's not great depth. I feel like they should be making every single stone over to find a player for sure. I mean, when you're starting an undrafted player in what's his name?
Herndon.
Yeah. So definitely room to improve there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's definitely a position that we all thought was going to have to be upgraded, and now that it is.
Yeah,
and
it's a shame we couldn't get Darqueze Dennard here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
He was the one that we brought in from the Bengals at the contract fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think he just signed with the Falcons for like $1 million last week or something like that.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
So, like you said, he doesn't make or break it for you, right?
Yeah.
One way or another.
Definitely Henderson's job. He's going to be the number one pretty much the second he steps on the field. So,
Yeah, that's true. True. I'm excited to see what happens with Henderson and all those guys.
And Hayden has the slot locked up too. So two of the three are pretty much locked up.
All right. Well, it took us a little bit to get into the YouTube, but here we are. So we got to hit some people's thoughts and comments. Predator says, hey, what's up? Jacob the Kid said Minshew's the most humble quarterback in the AFC. I think we'll get there in a little bit. And then talk about Minshew a little bit more. And then Jacob the Kid says, what do you think about Minshew and Chark duo? Could it be as effective this season?
Got to be. I mean, Minshew came in with limited snaps last training camp. But I'm sure he did get some reps with Chark, but nothing like they're going to get this year. Yeah, so that connection, hopefully like year two of Bortles and Robinson.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Chark definitely had a great year last year. Primarily out wide, 600 snaps outside wide, 220 snaps in the slot. Do you think that he will get more looks in the slot? I mean, I know
just a Jay Gruden's offense. Yeah, he's definitely going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Gruden likes to move guys in tight.
Yep.
He likes to take shots early. I mean, that's one thing Jay Gruden likes to do is he likes to take shots early down the field, set the tempo. So do you think that Chark will have more than 220 snaps in the slot this year?
I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, they used him almost exclusively out wide, and he did a good job there. What about? Do you have any concerns? I've heard people say this, and myself included. Do you have any concerns with the way DJ Chark kind of fell off at the end of the year? Do you attribute that to
He had one 100-yard season after like week 5, I think, and it was against the Colts.
But I mean, we saw when teams started
bracketing him and all that,
double teaming him and really focusing.
I think that definitely is worrisome for sure.
Is it? Like, is there anyone that the Jags have that can counter that?
Hopefully LaVisca, but no, I don't think it's Westbrook, and I don't think it's Conley.
Yeah. So does that put us in a tough spot?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
You think Eifert can have any relief there?
I think Jay Gruden's always done a good job with tight ends. So between him and Oliver, I think we might have a decent little chance there. But yeah, it's pretty much Chark and Fournette. Yeah.
I mean, Chris Thompson's going to add something too.
Yeah, Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson will get some.
I mean, I think you could maybe pick up some of the slack, but it's just like, dang, if you had a wide receiver too, if you had a guy that could play in the slot and just eat up people in the middle of the field. I know people want D.D. Westbrook to be that.
Yeah, no.
But I don't think he is.
No, he's definitely showing what he is.
Yeah, it's sad. But, man, gosh, I feel like we're one wide receiver away on this team from
It's almost like we're missing Allen Robinson right now or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what else we have in the comments. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube so you can jump in, get a notification when we're live. You can jump in the conversation with us. Jacob the Kid, Leonard Fournette makes a statement this year. He's asking it. I mean, he made a statement last year.
Yeah, I think he did last year as well.
He made a statement last year. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, it's just when you're on a bad team, you're on a bad team. There's no getting around that. Brantley Sanone says, coming off a 6-sack season, how do y'all feel about Duwan Smoot?
No.
Well, and why? Why is that?
I mean, those were all cleanup sacks. I mean,
he had that game where he had 2 sacks. Who was it against? I think the Bengals or someone like that. He had 2 sacks and he kind of flashed a little bit there, and it kind of gave you a little bit of hope.
Someone has to. I mean, Calais is getting double teamed, Josh Allen. So, I mean, someone has to get those numbers.
So you think all 6 of those snaps were a direct result of
coverage and
only having
less attention?
For
sure.
Like the next. I don't know, man. 6 sacks is a lot.
And how many did he have 3 years before that? I believe 0. So I mean, it's about damn time that he got a sack. But I'm not going to count on Dwayne Smith at all now. It's Chazon, it's Yannick, it's Josh Allen.
Here's something that's kind of damning about Duwan Smoot. I hate to bring this up because I like Smoot, but man, PFF out of 103 edge rushers that played qualifying snaps, he was 103.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Dead last. 45.1 defensive grading.
I feel like he's okay against the run, but yeah, that's about it, honestly.
He had a bad grade against the run last year. Yeah, wow. So we'll see. I mean, I want to like Duwan Smoot. He has a lot of potential, but man, he's been on some good defensive lines, and he's been, and maybe that's a reason. Maybe he's gotten lost in the rotation.
Yeah.
Maybe he hasn't gotten a fair shot. And if that's the case, if it is, this year will be the year that he can prove that. So
is it though? I mean,
this is
Cassius Marsh coming in. You got Aaron Lynch coming in.
He didn't opt out. I mean, Marsh.
No,
he was on that list. He was on the reserve list, I think, for a minute, but.
Yeah, I could see him losing playing time to Aaron Lynch.
I don't think so. I don't know, though.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Chenault will cover the slot, I hope, is what Jacob says.
I think they're all going to move around somewhat.
Yeah, Laviska should help. Yeah, Micah Reyes. People are big on Laviska Chenault. And look, if you watch the video breakdown we did, if you go back on our YouTube playlists, player breakdowns, we did one on Laviska Chenault. I think it has like almost 4,000 views. And the thing that we said over and over and over again was amazing player, got to stay healthy. I mean, that's it. That's it for Chenault. Is he's got to stay healthy. Like it's not an issue of is he a playmaker or is he good? Like he's a good player.
Got to stay healthy.
You just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
You got to stay healthy, which is not easy to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not easy
especially when you couldn't do it in college. So
yeah, exactly. That's true. All right, so we kind of talked a little bit about the DBs. We kind of talked a little bit about the receivers. Looking through the latest news, they haven't done a lot of additions, and a lot of teams haven't. A lot of team hasn't. It's hard to bring players in right now. Do you think I'm going to throw you a hypothetical. Let's say all things considered, this is a normal season. Do you think the Jags would have gone after more players if it wasn't like Skype interviews and things like that? Do you think the Jags would have been more aggressive in free agency maybe?
I wouldn't say more aggressive. We were pretty active, but as far as depth, things like that, yeah, I would probably say so.
Because
not taking a look at who was the receiver that just got signed recently. I feel like someone just got signed pretty big time. Who was it? Oh no, just Cam Newton, just things like that. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think Cam Newton would have been in play regardless. I mean, they were aggressive in the sense that they gave Schobert a big contract, a $50 million deal, which it won't be that much after a while. Mm-hmm. But besides that, they didn't do much. I mean, Al Woods didn't move the needle at all.
Yeah, and he's already opted out.
Yeah, Cassius Marsh didn't do much. Eifert was good, but I mean, he was a tight end too. We talk about that all the time here. I mean, he wasn't a tight end one that we got away from somebody. They weren't that active in free agency, but a lot of teams weren't. So I think when you think about that and you factor those two things in, it really does make a difference. Yeah. Brent Lee says, who do y'all expect to be the most improved other than Minshew? Mine is Taven Bryan.
Probably not.
Well,
we've been doing that for a few years. I would say another Gator. I would go with right tackle. What's his name?
Jawan Taylor.
Yeah, Jawan Taylor.
Yeah. That's an interesting
I hope so. We really need that as well. So
yeah, I mean, obviously we'd prefer Cam Robinson to be the guy that becomes the most improved.
I'm not worried about Cam. I think he's done. So, and Jawan, still a young player, very talented. Just need him to stay healthy. So
yeah, he needs to stay healthy. He needs to maybe. I mean, he made a lot of first-year mistakes, a lot of first-year player mistakes, things that you expect first-year players to make.
Yeah, he's going to be good though, for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about him as well. For me, man, you can't say Minshew because I think Minshew would be like the easy answer. He said can't say Minshew, throwing Minshew out. When you think about, does a guy like Josh Oliver do anything for you? Does D.D. Westbrook? What about one of these guys that he's like, not talked about as much, guys? Do those guys have a chance?
I wouldn't count on it, but it would definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so Taven Bryan, obviously, you're
I think he's just a solid player, but he's not the first rounder that we were expecting. That dominant 3-tech. He just doesn't seem to put his athleticism to use. Honestly, he's a solid player, but now should have taken Lamar Jackson. Obviously,
this isn't saying much, but he was the second highest graded PFF player that's still on our team now. So I mean, people that have gone don't count, but with a 75.6 defensive grading, he didn't grade out terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
You got to remember that he was drafted as a project, and project guys usually take 3 to 4 years to develop. I mean, you don't draft project guys for them to be good their rookie year or even their second year. So considering that with Taven, this would be his year. This would be his window as a project player to bust out.
Hopefully, yeah.
And be the player. 479 snaps, though, last year.
It's a decent amount for a defensive tackle.
Yeah. But when you think to guys that are getting like thousands of snaps, I mean, that's not even half of the snaps. So, I mean, did he have injury issues last year?
No, I think he was just rotating Marcel. Who else was playing defensive tackle?
I guess they had some good people in front of him. So, I mean, it's got to be hard. You got Calais that could shuffle to the inside. And Marcel
Calais played a lot of.
Yeah.
We're going to miss Calais.
Most improvement from Miles Jack. Oh,
definitely need a big step up from him for sure.
Yeah. Miles Jack, I'm surprised it's not a guy that we thought of right off the rip.
Well, I mean, he played like crap last year, but I mean, I expect him to be fine.
Crap would be good compared to, and which just blew my mind, dude, because he's such an athlete. Like, I wonder what happened.
Just week 1, getting kicked out of the Chiefs game, it just wasn't a good season for him.
It was a weird year for everybody.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anybody that played well last year on this defense besides Calais Campbell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's about it. Miles Jack's got to step up. Schobert there. If you can't play well with Joe Schobert next to you, I'm still concerned against the run, though. I mean, Schobert is not known as a run defender. I mean, he can do it, and he's smart.
And the big time, not big time, but one of the additions, the nose tackle Al Woods was supposed to help shore that up. He's gone now, so we're back to where we were last year.
I mean, do we have a single run stuffing linebacker? Shaq Quarterman? Is he the only one?
Maybe.
He was staunch against the run in college.
Yeah.
But is there anyone besides that?
I wouldn't say so, honestly.
I mean, you're looking at these smaller guys that are like tweeners. We still may not have addressed the run issue with this team. Miles Jack's going to hopefully play better.
Yep.
Schobert's going to hopefully improve with them two playing together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
just need to tackle better. We couldn't tackle for anything last year.
yeah, tackling was bad. The tackling was poor. But that comes down to your players.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's not coaching scheme. That's not. That's personnel. That's who you have out there on the field. But yeah, I got hopes for Taven and Juwan Taylor. I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
Jags fan Rick, my boy, says the Jags are in trouble on special teams. McCray is going to hurt not having McCray.
I mean, we were trash with him, so I don't think that's.
He was hurt all last year. But
How long has he been here? He's been a special teams captain for like 4 years.
We lost one of our
we've
special
never
teams captain. We lost
Davis,
the
but
white
no,
dude, Cody Davis.
but no. McCray has been a captain long before he was. So like, I feel like we've always been average to below average. So what's losing Lorente McCray going to do?
Fortunately, we do have good kickers.
That is true.
We do have good kickers and punters. Like I like R2. Like I think I would take R2 over any two in the league.
I don't know about that.
I mean, who? What other two are better?
Definitely Baltimore, but
Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're splitting hairs at that point because Logan Cook and Josh Lambo are incredible. Incredible players.
They're really good for sure.
Mike Reyes says Leon Jacobs. He's looking for him to have the next a big year next year. Leon Jacobs is a guy that can stuff the run, don't you think?
I mean,
you know what Leon Jacobs did really well, and again on our player positional breakdowns playlist, you can watch our linebacker breakdown. You know what's the most impressive about Leon Jacobs is how well he gets after the passer. Like that dude is a better edge rusher
he's definitely athletic.
than Dwan Smoot, than Lorente McCray.
He reminds me a little bit of Chase on, honestly.
Yeah, I mean they really do kind of have that same playing style. They really do. Chase on hopefully is a little bit more athletic. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why he was drafted there. But Leon Jacobs, I like Leon Jacobs. He had a lot of injuries last year too.
Yeah,
that's gonna be another.
The whole team did.
Another. For a lot of these young guys that we kind of expected to take a big step last year and didn't, the big thing is can they stay healthy? It's not are they good players. So when we're looking at upgrading positions, we're looking at improving at positions, we're really saying can we stay healthy?
Yep.
And I know every team has that battle, but
it seems like we're decimated every year by injuries, though.
Yeah, I mean we've had some unlucky. Yeah. Mike Reyes goes on about Leon Jacobs saying he's a monster. He's just a liability in coverage. Yeah, that's true. That's why I think his best attribute is literally rushing the passer.
Yeah.
Put your hand in the dirt and come after the passer in the 9-tech. Play Chazon. Put him and Chazon out there, and I think you have a fast edge right there. We got some speed on the edge, man.
That's definitely one thing they've prioritized is speed for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we have here. Mike Reyes says free as Miles Jack. DeBuckner Empire says, what's up, guys? I found you from UCF Jags channel, Duval. What's up, DeBuckner? Well, I'm glad you're here. We hope that you stick around. Give us some of your thoughts on what you think. We'd love to hear your opinion. If you're a fan of UCF Jags, and you have to have your head on at least halfway straight. That's what we always kind of consider around here. Kevin Parker says, chances Colin Johnson makes the field this year.
Probably not.
Not at all.
I mean, what is he sitting right now? Probably 5th or 6th.
I've seen
besides injuries. It would be cool for him to step up, and I mean he's a freak, huge, but I mean it's really hard for a rookie, especially with no training camp. So
he had some good plays last year.
Definitely a good college player, but it's like I said, no training camp. Hopefully, one of those practice squads, you like stash them and develop them. So, or let him play. We'll see.
You really think Colin Johnson goes to the practice squad?
I mean, I feel like is he going to beat out Keelan Cole? Probably not.
I think he may beat out one of these guys.
Nah, not beat out Keelan Cole.
You don't think there's a chance that Colin Johnson beats out Keelan Cole, T.D. Westbrook?
If he's an absolute freak, but like just a rookie and just not an ideal situation, it's going to be really tough for him.
I've heard a lot of people talk about they think there will be a surprise veteran cut in the wide receiver room. Like a D.D. Westbrook or a
maybe
Keelan Cole. Keelan Cole was kind of playing well there toward the end of the year.
He was.
So, but is he a guy that you can't really lose?
I mean, if he's the better player, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Colin Johnson's younger and you project his potential to be better, that would be a reason to move on from him, I would think. Brentley says, so how do we solve the problem with the safeties? Do y'all see anyone on the market or in the draft?
I like the guys we picked up. That undrafted guy from Georgia, multiple
J.R.
time
Reed.
All-American.
A lot of people are big on J.R. Reed, though.
And I like Wilson. I think Wilson and
Harrison.
Ronnie are okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you like those two?
I think I don't think they're all pros, but I mean, it's better than having Barry Church back there. Better than having Andrew Przinski, or whatever his name was.
What was his
I
name?
didn't want to remember. It's just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I do like J.R. Reed. I fear that he's becoming one of those like mythical undrafted guys that the Jags
Well,
always hype
even
up
the
every
Auburn
year.
guy, Daniel Thomas. So there's definitely some options, I think.
I mean, J.R. Reed played really well in that LSU game, which I've watched a lot of times.
Yeah. I was very surprised to see him go undrafted.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I wonder what it was about his game because he definitely showed up a lot in big games. There's probably something there for sure. But I think we're okay.
Yeah,
I've talked myself into being okay with the safeties.
Yeah, I think they're solid.
And maybe that's it. Let's see. We have a question about Andrew Wingard. Did they cut Wingard? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think he's still on the team. I mean, I think I looked up at some time about Andrew Wingard that he is the like school leader in tackles at Wyoming.
Wow.
Like career. I mean, the dude can tackle. Dude can definitely tackle. I mean, I'm all about that life. Over under, and this is from DeBuckner, says over under for Chason getting 6.5 sacks this season.
Who?
Chason, yeah.
Over 6?
Yeah.
Probably 5 to 6 range. It's really hard to do what Josh Allen did last season. So I mean, definitely. I don't think he had that in all of college. So that's really hard to do.
Yeah,
as
but
a
I
rookie.
mean, you see, did Josh Allen? Yeah, you're saying Josh Allen didn't have that many in college.
No, I'm saying Chason. I don't think he had more than.
I mean, did Josh Allen have in college?
16 to 17 his senior season. Remember?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. Josh Allen had 4 seasons of more than 8 sacks, like almost 40 in his career. Josh Allen was the fact that he fell to us. Yeah, definitely lucky for sure. But I think Chazon's good. Just raw. It's gonna take him some time.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think Chason is another guy. I mean, if you think about it, he's a slightly higher drafted version of Taven Bryan because they're both kind of project guys.
I mean, I guess if you.
They're both. I mean, you're both kind of expecting them to be good in like 2 or 3 years. They were drafted in the late first round.
Yeah.
But I like Chazon's athleticism. That's what everyone said about Taven Bryan.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about Taven Bryan's athleticism and how he's just going to get stronger in the NFL. And he's not going to be able. He's going to be one of those guys that works out all the time. He's going to be one of those guys that makes plays disruptive in the backfield. That's what he did at Florida, and that's what we're all saying about K'Lavon Chason. The exact same thing. So, I think the eyeball test though, K'Lavon Chason projects a little bit better just from his play at LSU. Although that LSU team that he was on was
nasty,
one of the greatest teams of all time. I mean, I think their offense was record-setting. Yeah. Their defense. I mean, their Grant Delpit's coming out this year. Or was he drafted this year? Grant Delpit was a guy on that safety.
Stingley's going to be good.
I mean, disgusting. I mean, that LSU defense was disgusting, and I'm excited.
Yep.
I think it's one of my favorite things that I'm most excited about is K'Lavon Chason.
I'm excited to see what he does this year, him and Henderson.
Yeah, some definitely intriguing rookies for sure. All right, so if you didn't hear the Jags news, they trimmed their roster down to 80 by cutting Tavian Feaster, Tyler Gaithier, Steven Nielsen, and kicker Brandon Wright. Also, Doug Middleton was released. Gunter was placed on the non-active list. Any of those guys?
I would like to get Gunter back. Hopefully it's just a few weeks thing or a couple days for COVID, maybe like quarantine or something.
But Feaster, Gaithier, Nielsen does nothing for you? Nah. Not Brandon Wright. You don't want him cooking. You don't want him pushing Josh Lambo for the spot. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, how big of a deal is it? Like, well, I mean, Rodney Gunter's an interesting person. Played with the Cardinals.
Yep.
Very strong, low to the ground. What impact do you think Gunter has on this Jags team?
I wish we had Al Woods. I think Al Woods and him could have made a pretty big difference against the run game. But just feel like he's a versatile, can play that kind of a Walmart version of Calais Campbell. 3-tech, get on the outside. So
I like that, a Walmart.
Yeah, Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell's really good. So I think like a poor man's Calais.
To update any of you golfers out there, Paul Casey has now tied with Dustin Johnson at 10 under for the lead in the PGA Championship. Our boy Bryson DeChambeau has dropped to 8 under par.
Ooh.
Which is really only one stroke off of where he was at, I think. So that brings us to Gardner Minshew, who has been all over the news for all these things. We've had different opinions on Gardner Minshew, and that's the great thing about the show is that we can agree to disagree about how we feel about Minshew. But how do you feel about how involved he is in like the media and with these shows, the hunts? Do you like that he's going into that this year with like kind of that mentality, or are you one guy that kind of likes their quarterback to kind of have their head down?
He's definitely got his head down. I think you can be both.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I know people don't like to think that, but yeah, I think you can be both. Surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely a hard-ass worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish they would have done just a tad more for him in the offseason.
For sure.
Gosh, man, if they would have.
Hey, maybe we'll get Antonio Brown or something.
I mean, that's I can't get off the fact that if we had one more receiver, this offense could be like legit,
or just an extra tackle or something, or both.
Yeah, they are.
Just both.
Yeah, I mean, there's. Yeah, gosh, why can't you just bring in both? Yeah, that's crazy. But we drafted 2 defensive players in the first round.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Wow, that's crazy. Mike Reyes. What about rookie Devon Hamilton?
Oh, Ohio State. Yeah, hopefully.
He's a good run stuffer. We've got to mention him in the run stuffer, and that's a good call there,
That's
Mike.
just that rookie, man. It's just very unideal situation.
Yeah, you don't want a rookie coming in and having to lean on him to stop the run, but he is a guy, and he also rush the passer from the interior. Who do you think gets more snaps next year, Gunter or Hamilton?
Gunter for sure.
Gunter?
Yeah.
You don't think Hamilton works his way in toward the end of the year and kind of picks up weeks 10 and on?
Maybe, but I don't think I'll play Gunter.
Yeah, maybe. Brentley, if you could bring back one former Jag to help this team, who would you choose?
Maybe Pacelli, Jimmy Smith, something like that.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Jimmy Smith for me. Although Keenan McCardell, I was thinking today because we were talking with our buddy Trebe, who runs a YouTube channel as well. He was talking about top 5 Jaguars of all time, like your favorite players, not like who by skill or who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. We all have that list. Your favorite players. And I was kind of putting in like Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell, and it was hard for me to put one above the other.
Yeah.
Like,
they were both really good.
They were both really good. And you add in the fact that Keenan McCardell is back as a coach now.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, man.
Always rep Jacksonville, yeah, so for sure.
I love that. So give me Keenan. That's the one guy I want to bring back, Keenan McCardell, because he would work in the slot.
Yeah.
And he would go to work in the slot, man, across the middle of the field. And his whole career, he was able to do that.
Yep.
That would open it up for Chark, open it up for Eifert and all these other guys. So that would be mine.
I'm glad Keenan got that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved that. Advus Bailey, I think the Jags are making a mistake by not getting someone for 91.
Nah, sit up. If he doesn't want to make money, good luck. So
you're okay with that stance?
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to, unless we get a first rounder for it? Yeah, no.
So you would rather him sit out and not play?
Yeah, if he doesn't want
walk.
If he doesn't want to, we can franchise him like 2 more years.
So you would rather do that than trade him for a 3rd-round pick right now?
We can get a 3rd rounder.
Maybe not, though. If he doesn't play for an entire year, what if the best you can get for him is a 5th or a 6th?
Why would that be, though?
Because he hasn't played for an entire year.
You mean like Trent Williams didn't play for an entire year and just went for?
Well, I mean, I think offensive line is a little bit different.
I think a premier pass rusher.
Maybe.
And he's also like 35 as well, Trent Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he's a veteran. He's shown he can do it over a body of work. I mean,
DeForest Buckner just went for top 13 pick in the NFL draft, so.
He didn't sit out a year, though.
That's true. You're saying defensive lineman-wise.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Ngakoue is worth a 1 now. I'm just saying if he's worth a 4th.
I mean, he's made like $1 million in his career. If he wants to waste $17 million by sitting out, good luck, bud. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, how?
What are we losing by not trading him? I mean, it's.
I mean, a 3rd-round pick potentially.
Oh, a 3rd-round pick. So we get to draft a Ben Birch. I mean, I'm not worried about that. So.
Yeah, but you can also get value of those picks, and we've shown we can get value of those picks. So.
Or he can play for us and actually produce. So.
But is he going to do that? I feel like he's scorned his relationship. I feel like he's burnt the bridges.
He can sit his ass on the bench until he gets traded, I guess.
That's the question.
It doesn't hurt us at all to just keep him on the team. It's like why would we get? I mean, I know it's a little different situation. Why it's like us cutting Justin Blackman. Just until we own his rights. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. So
yeah,
and I love Yannick. It's just a shame that Tom Coughlin's so stupid. So Nothing like peeing off all of our great players.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, like if Coughlin's gone and he's the issue, do you just like suck it up and play for the team that drafted you? Or
No, he's not going to play for the team. So
I know he's not. But
he's
like,
going to sit. So,
but what if he does sit? And what if next year what do we do with him next year?
franchise tag him if he wants to play. That's $30 million. That's like $35 million he's turning down by not playing on the franchise tag.
Can you imagine if the Jags just screwed him over and were like, you know what?
Good.
That would be an interesting thing for them to do for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We appreciate you guys here that are watching. We're going to peek over at the PGA Championship here for a second. But give us like 2 seconds. We're going to need a quick refill, a quick drink break, and then we'll be right back.
Come on, Briggs.
All right, welcome back to a Jaguars United live show. If you're listening to the podcast later on the Big Cat Country Network feed and you want to check out our live show, you can see Mike and me in all of our glory on YouTube. Just search up Jaguars United, subscribe. We have video breakdowns of like players and positional breakdowns going into the season. And we also have our live shows up there. So you can check us out. Mike and Joey are on typically. Tonight we're joined with Mike. And we're a little preoccupied today. A very interesting PGA championship going on right now. If you're watching the live show, keeping you updated, there's now a 3-way tie for 10 under with the lead. And it's, what's his name?
Paul Casey, Dustin Johnson,
and then my guy.
Is it Scheffler or
No, it's
Colin
Makanawa.
Colin?
Yeah, Colin, whatever his name is. So interesting things going on today. Who's your guy was Brooks going into it?
Him and Berger, unfortunately. Yeah.
But who do you think is going to win now? I mean, they've got about 9 holes left each of them. They're 3-way tie. What are your thoughts?
DJ only -1 today. I mean, the way Paul Casey's playing, Colin Morikawa playing well.
Morikawa's playing real well today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's 4 under for the day.
Yeah. DeChambeau came out lighting it up. So did Tony Finau. So
a lot of people did come out fast on this one. They came out the first couple of holes doing well.
Hopefully Brooks might just got his birdie, so backed up to -4.
There, he's got some ground to make up.
Yeah,
that's
a little
for
bit.
Sure. Brent Lee, and we're back on the Jags conversation. So jump into, if you're subscribed to the YouTube, you can jump into the live chat. Give us your thoughts, things you want to talk about. We'd love to hear from y'all. This is from Brantley. He says, "What rookie do y'all think will surprise us and have the most impact?" That's a good question. I like that.
I don't know if it's going to be a surprise, but I mean, Henderson, just his athletic profile, good college player.
Do you think he will surprise people based on the predisposition they have for him, or do you think he'll surprise people and he'll outplay where he was drafted?
I mean, I think our scheme, not simple, but that cover 3, and it seems like Todd Walsh is a good coach, so I just feel like something about CJ's profile mixed with the Jaguars, I think it just does well. So
people really don't like Todd Walsh.
I mean, you can argue he's done some stupid things, but producing wise, I mean, turned some good players in. I mean, where did I'm trying to think the players he's produced, honestly. I mean, I know Josh Allen was a high drafted profile. Still, as a rookie, 10.5 sacks. Yannick Ngakoue, I didn't know who Yannick Ngakoue was when we drafted him. So I think Paul, I'm looking at the draft. I think Todd Walsh has done a good job with certain players.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I always say this, and people that listen to our show or listen to our podcast or videos, I'm pretty hardline on this stance. Is usually coaches know what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's not like there is something to be said for coaches adapting like at halftime.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a pretty big deal. Like how can you adapt once you've saw what the chess move is? That's big.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's.
Yeah.
And it's who you have out there. It's the 11 dogs you have on the field.
And it's shown when Todd Walsh has talent, he produces a good defense.
So I mean, think about the staffs he was on in Seattle. Think about him here in Jacksonville. With the
even 2016, Jalen's rookie year had Devon House, not the best talented team, still made it to like a top 10 defense. So
think about this, and this will give you some perspective. And people hate Todd Walsh, but put this in perspective. When you think back to in your life, the best defense the Jaguars have ever had of all time, your entire life, and we've been following the Jags since they started.
Yeah,
the best defense they've ever had in their entire life was under Todd Walsh.
Yeah,
there
was a pretty good deal. I think Del Rio had like a top 3 defense at one point, but yeah, pretty much that was a historical defense for sure for the Jaguars.
We have one comment that the audio is low, so we'll try to fix that in post-production, but maybe Mike just needs to get a little closer to the mic. We are trying out some different mics. For those of you that are in the audio podcast world, we were going with some Audio Technicas like RE50s for a long time. They did really, really good, but then we got a hold of some Rhodes podcaster mics, and these are supposed to be the granddaddy of them all. So hopefully we can get the audios figured out. It'll probably take us a couple shows to get all of our mixing done correctly and things like that for sure. UCF Jaguar says, "What's up, fellas? Still feels like the dead period since we could only get injury and COVID updates from the Jags nowadays."
Yep.
LOL. That's true.
They do a pretty good job of keeping stuff locked down.
This definitely feels like a dead period. This feels like we're in the middle of June, and we are in the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So I think that it is very interesting to see. This is going to be a weird year, but if you think about it, it's a weird year in every sport.
Yep.
Every sport.
In life, it's weird. So
life's weird. Absolutely. Yep. I mean, the NHL is the one big playoff. The NBA is playing in a bubble.
Yeah.
Like golf, there's no fans.
Yeah.
Like it is weird everywhere, and it's going to be a weird year, and that's okay. We just got to get through it. We'll get through it together with things like that. But what is up with you? UCF Jaguar wants to know.
Oh wow, just living life, man.
Living life.
Yep.
Been playing some golf.
I have. We have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you been shooting?
Oh, not well.
I hate talking about golf all the time. Maybe we should do a golf podcast.
Yeah.
But I quit yesterday on hole 11.
Yeah.
I quit. That's all I'm gonna
And
say.
I got aggressively drunk and missed the ball a lot. Don't double fist crown and a Yingling. So
And for the kids that listen, that's a tip. Although now that we're just on the Big Cat podcast feed, I think we're a little more safe from the audience that we had back in the past. Was that top 3 Del Rio defense Del Rio or Mel Tucker? Oh, that's a good point.
they're both good coaches. So
They were both good coaches, and I do like Mel Tucker a lot, but
Yeah.
I think it's a different situation because Dak Del Rio was the defensive coach on that
Yeah.
team, whereas Doug Marrone has turned over the entire defense to Todd Wash.
Yeah.
So they were both coordinators, but Del Rio had a much bigger hand in the defense then than Marrone has now.
Nothing like watching Tom Brady pick that Jack Del Rio defense apart.
To be fair, Tom Brady has picked
That's
every
true.
defense apart. So I mean, he does.
What
that
did he
to
have? Like
everybody.
2 incompletions that game though. Good
he
Lord.
does that. You watch him do that in the playoffs year
Yeah, that's
after
true.
year. So yeah, for sure, it definitely happens. But man, what do you? There's not a lot of Jags news. You're right. What are you most excited about here locally? About the Jags going back and playing football starting again.
I don't even know if I am because like no fans allowed. I keep pumping myself. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for games. Oh wait, no fans. So it's kind of weird, honestly. Just like the whole grand scheme of things.
Being on TV is at least cool.
That's
you get
true.
to watch them on TV.
Yeah.
We thought about doing live shows during the Jags games, but it wouldn't make any sense because we wouldn't watch the Jags.
Yeah.
And we don't have the NFL copyrights to
Ooh.
play them on the screen.
Maybe do like the draft we did.
Live draft was fun, but we'll probably just do shows right after the games. So as soon as the game's over, you can just pop on the thing. We'll probably be sitting here like ready to go. Hopefully,
If there's even a season, good Lord.
they're gonna play. There's way too much money for them.
Talking
not to
about
play.
college football getting canceled today.
It's not gonna get canceled. I mean, it's not. There's way
It's
too
crazy,
much money
man.
involved. If every other pro sport can get it figured out, football should be able to.
Hopefully.
You know what I mean?
That's
Baseball's
crazy, man.
doing it. Basketball has just as much contact as there's in football.
Yep.
You know, so if they can do it, I mean, I know they're in a bubble, they're in a unique situation, but you know, that's just where we're at. Like I said, it's gonna be weird. There's no point in harping on it for sure.
Yeah.
Any suggestions on what position we should break down next?
What's a good position? Defensive line's always fun. We got some talent there.
D line.
Yeah.
I've already done linebackers and safeties.
Sounds like it's D line then.
D line.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear about the nickel corners or the kickers or the punters?
Josh Allen. He's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think that's going to wrap up our live show for tonight. But we appreciate you guys being here. If you're listening to the podcast, make sure to check us out on YouTube later. Check out the website. We have some articles up there. All our videos are archived on there. Apparel, so it looks sweet. Wearing your Jags United swag. And make sure to tweet us. I mean, we love y'all's interactions on Twitter. Tweet us about anything. Tweet us about the Jags. You can tweet us about golf. You know, it doesn't matter.
Are you making a golf polo, Jags United shirt?
You know, maybe we will. Maybe we will get a golf polo going. But we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all the support. Make sure to subscribe, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. Give us your thoughts and any feedback that you have. We would love it. And appreciate you guys being here with us in the comments. Appreciate you guys talking with us. We always love talking to you fans. So I can say for me, thank you, Mike. Any closing thoughts?
Go Jags.
Go Jags. That's it. That's always around here. It's what we